Hey guys, YouTube Hunter here. Alright, now here I am with another obscure 2000s Disney movie review. Next up, this is going to be a review for The Country Bears. So, yeah, this is a very infamous Disney movie. I mean, it seemed that just like really nobody likes this movie. I really haven't heard like anything but real basically negativity on this movie. Yeah, the movie really was not a big hit with critics or audiences. I mean, the score is like pretty low on Rotten Tomatoes, and even the film, like, it did really lose a lot of money. Like, this film really bombed badly in theaters. This film only like made grossed like $18 million on a $35 million budget. So the film was a pretty big financial failure. And and plus, even like as a kid, like back when this movie first came out, this was a movie that even I didn't want to see. Just I really just found like bears like in live action with people, like just like talking bears and everything. I just found that like very freaky. Just yeah, this movie just it was like very it just looked very freaky. Seeing just like a just talking humanoid like bears. There's in live action like this. Just yeah, it was. I just found that very freaky. So so I really didn't have any interest in seeing this movie when it first came out, and I haven't even really watched this movie a lot at all since it's come out. Like, I think I probably like only watched it one time in the past, and yeah, even that was just because like it was a movie that like was put on like at school, so I really just I had to watch it. So yeah, if it was like like if I had the choice, I wouldn't have ever watched this movie. So yeah, so this movie just yeah, it was like a pretty bad movie. Even Nostalgia Critic made a review for this movie, and he even said like how well. I shouldn't really say like he said, but yeah, he kind of like even like poked fun at like just like how much this movie really is despised. Like, yeah, just there was just like a bunch of comments like in his review for the movie, he did like kind of like say that he kind of did find some parts of the movie funny and it did kind of entertain him. And yeah, and so we're just like kind of like poking fun at the fact that like people think that he's crazy for actually like kind of being entertained by this movie. So yeah, so that really just kind of should like show you like how despised this movie really was. Yeah. And yeah, and just yeah, and how I actually feel about the movie myself. I did say that how I didn't even like really want to see this movie when I was a kid. Just like watching this movie, I've really got to say, just yeah, this movie just yeah, it is like not a really good movie, and yeah, and it's just weird to be honest. I mean, like I said, just seeing like just the like just actual like live action bears. There's like talking and just like pretty much being like a like humanoid type of creatures in this movie, or like or like humanoid species. It's just like really weird. Like just yeah, it's just really weird to see that. Like just like what I just am wondering is just why was this movie in live action? Just yeah, because I think that is really just kind of like what makes the movie really like seem so freaky and just weird. Because just seeing like these like humanoid like bears, like they're walking and talking and pretty much just like acting like regular people, and they're like interacting with people and stuff, like always talking to them and stuff. It's just like very weird to see in live action. Like if this was an animated movie, like seeing that wouldn't even like look so weird. Like it probably looked pretty normal seeing it if this was been an animated movie. But yeah, they like made this movie live action, which I really don't even understand why, because it just looks weird. So yeah, so this movie was actually based on the Country Bear Jamboree ride or attraction at Disney parks. So this is kind of like another one of those movies like Pirates of the Caribbean and The Haunted Mansion and those kind of movies, like movies that were like based on like rides or attractions at the Disney parks. So yeah, so you think Pirates of the Caribbean started that? No, it was actually this film that started. This film came out before the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. So yeah, so this was the first movie to really like start that chain of Disney making movies based on their theme park attractions. Yeah, so yeah, but yeah, like I said, just this movie, just it's very very weird, and it's really just like very generic. I mean, yeah, I mean the story for this film, it really is pretty standard. All it really is just it has like a 10-year-old boy bear here, and he's like adopted by a human family, and then when he gets like actually told the truth about his adoption and everything, he like feels like disowned and just upset and everything, and he runs away. But then yeah, it shows that the Country Bears, they were like an old country band that disbanded in like years ago, and then their concert hall is going to be destroyed. So then, and the boy bear then like tries to join up with the band's former manager to really get the band back together. Pretty much throughout this film, what they're doing is just they're tracking down like the members of the band, and they're just bringing everybody back together to form the concert, to form a band to have an event to really save the concert hall. And yeah, and that's pretty much all. Well, most of the film really is like just yeah, it's really most of it is really just them finding the members of the band, tracking them down, and getting everybody back together. Yeah, and plus, what's really annoying about the film, it's just like it seems like just it repeats the same formula over and over again through the film because how it really works is like just they travel, they track down a member of a band, and they try to recruit them, and then we get like a musical number, like there's like in between finding band members, like we get these musical numbers for like each member that's recruited, and it gets like very annoying and repetitive. It just kind of like seems as if we're watching a Broadway rather than we're watching an actual movie. Yeah, yeah, and so yeah, it pretty much is like they travel, they recruit a member, musical number, travel, will recruit a member, musical number, travel, will recruit a member, musical number. Yeah, it pretty much just like repeats that over and over and over again in the film. And so yeah, so it really gets like very repetitive, and even like the musical numbers in the film, they're like very generic. Like they're just like very not very memorable, and yeah, it's just as if you forget them immediately. Like I really don't remember any of the songs in the film. Like all those songs that they sing, I mean, like for the musical numbers, I've forgotten every one of them. So yeah, the songs in the film really are not very memorable. Well, at all, yeah, so the film really does get very repetitive. But yeah, we also like see that the antagonist of the film, who was played by Christopher Walken. So yeah, Christopher Walken is in this film. So I guess that's a positive for the movie. Yeah, Christopher Walken's there, and he really is like he's the one like really behind destroying the concert hall. And so then yeah, then after he hears about what the Bears are trying to do, then he really is like just really determined to stop them from saving the hall so he can destroy it. And it would eventually be revealed in the film why he really is doing that, why he really is like very insistent on destroying the concert hall. So yeah, it's a very standard and generic movie, and nothing really stands out about it. How to just the story is like very standard and just it's very repetitive. As I said, there's not really anything that's really that funny about it. Like there's a lot of over the top, goofy performances in the movie, like the Bears family in the movie, like the parent performances in general, just they act just like very over the top, and it just becomes very comical and dumb. Just yeah, the acting is just like very goofy in the film. And also, as like the bear runs away from home, like his parents like call the police about it, and they're like the two cops that are trying to find him, and yeah, and the two cops in the movie, like they're very like over the top as well. Just yeah, they're very goofy and dumb and all that other stuff. So yeah, so it's very so yeah, a lot of the performances are really goofy. Yeah, as far as the bears go, like I said, just seeing this in live action, like with like these bears that are talking and interacting with humans and all this stuff. It's just really weird to see in live action. But yeah, we have like um, the voices of the bears in the film. We have like Haley Joel Osment and Diedrich Baker, I think, or Bader rather, Diedrich Bader, Candy Ford, Brad Garrett, Toby Huss, Stephen Root, and so yeah, so have like cast like those cast members like providing the voices for the bears here's yeah. And like I said, Christopher Walken is like the antagonist in the film. We also have like for the live action cast, there's a Stephen Tobolowsky, Daryl Mitchell, Diedrich Bader is also like one of the cops in the film. There's Alex Rocco, oh and yeah, and ones like that. And we also do have like some like a few celebrity cameos in the film as well. There's like Willie Nelson, Elton John, no, Crystal, Brian Setzer, her, yeah, and just other like various country music singers are in the film as well. Yeah, so it just kind of feels like they're just like really forcing those like pointless celebrity cameos in the film as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the film that like the acting is really over the top. The story is generic, and yeah, its formula is very repetitive and annoying, and just yeah. So yeah, as you can probably tell, like just this movie is not very good. I mean, a lot of people really do despise it, and yeah, I don't really like it either. Like I said, I didn't really see this film too much. I only saw it once growing up, and then I just watched it again to make this review. And I really doubt that I will really actually go back and watch this film again anytime soon. So yeah, so I, I guess I would probably give the film like 1.75 stars out of 4. Yeah. So there's really just like not much I can really say about it that nobody else has said already. So yeah, so let me just talk about the story of the film. So as the film opens up, it does show like the Country Bears performing, and yeah, like I said, like this is an all bear band, which is weird. Yeah, but yeah, it shows that they disbanded in 1991, but then it cuts to like the a 10-year-old bear boy Barry Barrington, and who really is a fan of the band and really is like is very inspired by the band that he actually does play the guitar. Yeah, yeah, and it shows that like he's like in a human family, yeah, and it just gets really dumb because he asks if he's adopted, and I mean, what do you even think? Do you even realize that you're a bear and you're living with a human family? So yeah, it just is really, yeah. Some of these like this some of these lines and stuff, like just some of this dialogue is very dumb, yeah, and it shows that like Barry's brother Dex really is like a real like one of those uh older brothers that really is like very like really wants no part of Barry, and he's just like one of those like brothers that is just really pretty much just kind of like in that jealous state where he gets more attention and stuff and just wants him gone. Yeah. And so then that night, like Dex does tell Barry the truth that he was adopted and everything. And just that he's not really like their parent's son. And then that night, as Barry was just like feeling very upset, he just ended up running away from home in the middle of the night. Yeah, well, but I should also say, like something that Barry's parents also told him is that his family will love him unconditionally, regardless whether he's adopted or a blood family. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, yeah, Barry ran away that night, and he eventually a, arrived at Country Bear Hall, which was the Country Bears concert hall. And then yeah, it showed that um that like this greedy banker Reed Thimple is actually planning to just tear down Country Bear Hall, yeah, and then yeah, then it showed that like the Country Bears former manager Henry Dixon Taylor and the property caretaker Big Al were there still at Country Bear Hall. And yeah, it showed that like a Big Al like was always putting up signs and and he was also like didn't want anybody really stepping on the grass on the property. Like he wanted everything off of the grass. But then Barry then was just like trying to like talk to Henry about a way they could keep Country Bear Hall open, because as they have to actually come up with $20,000 to save it. And then Barry suggests the idea to Henry that they could actually get the band back together and hold a benefit concert to save Country Bear Hall. And at first, like, Henry thought that idea was dumb, but then Big Al then helped to convince Henry that they could actually pull it off. So then, and Barry and Henry then like set out on the Country Bear's old bus with their with the driver who was the drummer of the band, Rhodey, and then they set off to find the former members of the Country Bears and bring everybody back together. And then it showed that like the Barringtons then enlisted the help of the police to try to find Barry, and then they had there were two officers, Officer Cheats and Officer Ham that set out to find Barry. And then just like I said, just as the film like progresses, then it really is just like Barry and Henry and the other people that they like, the bears that they recruit on the way, like just like tracking all the different members of the band back together. They like found the harmonica and bass player for the band, Fred Betterhead, who was like working as a security guard for on the set of Crystal's latest music video. And then eventually they like just found like their fiddler Zeb Hooper, who was kind of like, just like drinking honey at a bar. Then they like eventually found like their one string guitar player Tennessee, who was a marriage counselor. And then along the way, there was like this story about this talent show where the Country Bears actually defeated like an armpit musician that was named Benny Bogswiggle. And like this, the way he was like an armpit musician, as they said, was that like he did that thing where like you put your hand underneath your armpit and do that, and it makes a fart noise. Like that Benny Barrington, or not Barrington. What did I say that for? That Benny Bogswiggle, like he was very talented in like making songs, doing that stuff, but the Country Bears ended up defeating him in a talent show. And then like just it caused Benny to snap, and he actually like hit Zeb Zoomer in the head with a chair. And then later on, like Thimple then like discovered what the Country Bears plan was, and they also recruited like their old promoter Rip Holland to actually promote the show. And then eventually the two officers then like arrived at Country Bear Hall. And when they asked Big Al about Barry, Big Al told them that like Henry took Barry, and so then he didn't actually mention that like what they were trying to do. So the officers like just came to the conclusion that Barry was kidnapped. So then they like set out to try to chase down the Country Bears and get Barry back. Then eventually at one point when like it gets to the news that the story that like the Country Bears have kidnapped Barry, then like when the officers arrived in a restaurant that the Bears were in, the Bears made a run for it, but then like the officers gave chase to them, and then then eventually like the Bears were able to escape in the bus, like when they like went through a car wash, and hijinks ensued when like the officers like tried to like chase them down, but because they couldn't see, they tried to look out their windows, and they got swept up in the car wash and all that stuff. Just it was like a comedic scene with just like them getting into hijinks inside the car wash, just like going through like all the like cycles in the car wash with like the soap and the rinsing and the waxing and all that stuff. Then eventually when they were finally ready to get their last member, who was the group's lead vocalist and guitarist, Ted Betterhead, it seemed to appear that Ted was like really wealthy and owned a mansion, but it was later revealed that he was just like living in a garage that in Elton John's mansion. Yeah, yeah, and then and after Fred was able to who get Ted onto the bus. I was like they learned well Ted was claiming that like he held them together and no one was grateful and other members were busy with their responsibilities and let their habits get in the way. Yeah, but Barry reminded them that they claimed to be each other's family, but Ted just claimed it to be meaningless publicity. Yeah. And then Barry then remembered what his parents had told him about the meaning of family, and then after that, then Barry then just ran home back to his family, and they reunited, and even Dex was happy to see him too. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, it turned out that Barry had actually left all of his stuff that he brought with him when he ran away. He left it on the Country Bear bus, and the Country Bears read one of Barry's school essays about them, and then they realized that Barry was right about the meaning of family and everything, and they decided that they had to perform the gig. So then, yeah, Ted then went. Well, yeah, they went over to Barry's house, and then Ted just insisted that they allow him to join them in the concert. Yeah, and then, but then yeah, then it showed that a Thimple ended up kidnapping the bears and stealing the bus. Yeah, and then after he held them captive, then Reed revealed that he was actually he was Benny Bogswiggle, and he's now a, a trying to um like stop them from saving Country Bear Hall and tear it down for revenge for stealing his chance at fame. Yeah, but Barry and his family and Ted were able to uh, track the bears down using a tracking device that he said berries. Yeah, and then they were able to rescue the band and then go to the concert. And then yeah, when they got there, it was shown that Thimple actually paid Rip not to promote the show. But then Big Al then arrived and showed that he promoted it himself. Yeah, and yeah, then they had a full audience. Yeah, yeah. Then yeah, but then yeah, as the audience was just entering the hall, Reed was thrown out by the crowd, but he told the Country Bears that the feud was not over. Yeah, then yeah, then it showed enough money was raised to save the hall, and then yeah, then they then welcomed Barry to the band, and then yeah, then the movie then just ended with the Bears playing a song, and then it showed Barry on stage playing his guitar, and yeah, it showed one guy that was sitting next to Dex asked who that little bear was, and then. And Dex responded, "That's no little bear. That's my brother." So now showing that he was accepting him as his brother. Yeah. Yeah, and then yeah, it just ended with the Bears just playing a full song, and then yeah, it just ended with the concert and them finishing that song, and then yeah, and that's how it ended. And as the credits rolled, it just showed some other fellow uh, country music singers and people involved in this whole situation, just giving interviews and stuff. So yeah, like I said, this film yeah, it is a very, very standard and generic. The story is very standard. The formula is very repetitive. The acting is very over the top, and it's just really not funny. So yeah, so I really do see why this movie really is despised by a lot of people. I mean, like I said, I really didn't watch it very much, and I really doubt I will watch it again for a very long time. So yeah, so really, just I don't recommend this film if you haven't seen it before. Before, I would strongly recommend keeping it that way because this film, it's just dumb. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, 1.75 stars out of 4. All right. So, so I guess that's all I can really say about it. So yeah, all right. So this does it for my review of the Country Bears. Hope you guys did enjoy this review. And yeah, and as you may notice, I am kind of talking about quite a lot of live action movies that were being released from Disney during this time. Yeah, I mean a lot of these movies that I am going to be talking about, a majority of them are live action, but I still do have some animated movies still part of these reviews also. I've only talked about a couple so far, but yeah, with my next review, I am gonna talk about another animated film. And I'm like, I am gonna jump back to like animated films and get back into those. Like my next review is going to be of an animated film. So yeah, so I'll get back into those coming up next. All right, but yeah, so I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.